Blessed love and blessed night. Fighting world, fighting nation, boxing world and boxing nation. It's Coach Fire from Real Life Boxing, Real Life and Boxing. And I want to welcome you guys back to the third installment of This Weekend in Boxing, where we cover the exciting weekend in boxing. So this weekend was Saturday, December 1st, 2018. And it was a pretty fun-filled, action-packed weekend in boxing. So let's cover it. Before we get into it, you guys smash the like button, hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified when new content is uploaded. And this is Real Life in Boxing. So you guys know Saturday, December 1st, we had the huge pay-per-view with Tyson the Gypsy King Fury against Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. You know what I'm saying? They did crazy some Floyd Mayweather numbers. That information just came out today. They're already at 300,000 pay-per-view, and they're saying that the number's gonna keep going up. So shout out to Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury with a successful pay-per-view. It was lit. It was a great night. So let's start with, on that card you had Luis Ortiz heavyweight versus Travis Kaufman. And I believe Luis Ortiz stopped him, it's like 10th, 11th round. But Kaufman was tough though. Kaufman was tough and actually seemed like he could have kept going, but the ref was like, nah, we ain't gonna let you take too much more of that. You know what I mean? And Joe Joyce fought Joe Hanks. I believe that was the first fight of the pay-per-view broadcast, was Joe Joyce versus Joe Hanks, and Joe Joyce knocked him out in the first round. And then was the Luis Ortiz and Travis Kaufman, and that fight was decent. You know what I mean? Kaufman is tough. He is playing the fool in there. Luis Ortiz was doing his thing. So you had Jarrett Hurd versus Jason Wellborn, and that fight started off. He actually started off fighting good. You know what I mean? He caught Jarrett Hurd, busted up his lip and shit. And I think that was in the first round. And then Jarrett Hurd was like, fuck this. He came and got him out of there with a mean body shot in the third round, like right up in the solar plexus, man, like right in the middle of his rib cage, like right underneath his chest. Hit him with a mean shot there, and he dropped, and that was all she wrote for that fight. And Jamel Charlo pulled up on him in the ring, dressed all nice with a suit on, ice blinging and shit. And her said, Charlo, he tapped all his belts and he said, yeah, this is easy work right here. This is easy work. If you're gonna come out here and if you plan on doing, against me what you did tonight, that's not gonna work. This is easy work. I'm gonna take these belts off your shoulders, but enjoy them while they look nice, because I'm taking them from you. You know what I mean? That was a good little altercation. I haven't heard much people saying shit about him, but I feel like Charlo kind of spooked him, or maybe it's because Jarrett Hurd was, just coming out. Charlo said, "No, I got the date. Jarrett Hurd said, "No, I got the date. Just pick up your phone when I call. But I'm gonna need another tune-up fight, before you. But just pick up your phone when I call." And Charlo said, "Man, my phone is always on." You know what I'm saying? But enjoy your belts while you got them, and I got the date. And then Jarrett Hurd said, "No. I got the date. I got the." Charlo said, "No, I got the date. Lions only run boxing. I got the date. We run this." You know what I mean? And then they got Charlo out of there. And then someone on Jarrett Hurd's team had to come and reassure him, like, no, you're the boss. You got all the belts. You run shit. And Jarrett Hurd said, "Yeah, man, what's this dude talking about?" So he looked like a little kid that just got his feelings hurt. But it was a good little, altercation. It was cool. I like the both of those champs. You know what I'm saying? I like Charlo and I like Jarrett Hurd. It's gonna be a good fight when it happens. You know what I mean? And then we had Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. But before that card, we had Adonis Superman Stevenson versus Alexander Vozdik. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Shout out to the Russians. I can't be pronouncing those names all the time, but I think it is Alexander Voznik. And right now, I just wanna give Adonis Stevenson a moment of silence, and we got to say a prayer for Adonis Stevenson, man. I did a video on that, and I'm gonna do another video, you know, when I finish this video. But in this weekend in boxing, that part of it right there was sad. Adonis Stevenson was knocked out in was it the 12th round or the 11th? Hold on, let me see if I could pull it up. Shit. But I think it was the 11th round, and I mean, it was like a slow-paced fight for the most part. They were touching each other, and Adonis started landing some shots like the round before that. But you know, Voster came out, landed a plethora of clean punches on Adonis before he actually hurt him, and then ended up knocking him out. And Adonis Stevenson left the ring on a stretcher, and then it was later announced that he was in a medically induced coma. He was like in critical condition, and then they moved him to stable condition. But the report actually came out today that he suffered a severe you know, brain damage injury during the fight, so he had to undergo surgery, and he is now out of surgery. And let's just say a prayer for Superman. Keep him in our prayers, keep his family in our prayers, because you know, this is the sad part about boxing, and it's something weird. I'm gonna do a whole nother video, you know, on this, but I don't want to get, you know, off the topic. But this is a part of, you know, this weekend in boxing, because it did happen, and we never want to see this as fighting fans, as fighters, as coaches. You know what I mean? Like, I have my son is almost a black belt. He's about to get his black belt this week or next week in Taekwondo, and he's been training boxing, and he's ready to fight. So, you know, like when we love the sport, and we have, you know, we're trainers, we have friends that fight, and, you know, we used to fight ourselves, and kids that we're training to fight. Like, this is always the sad part, you know what I mean, of the sport, because nobody wants to see fighters get hurt, especially if we're a fan of that fighter. You know, nobody wants to, you know, and Adonis Stevenson, he wasn't really like my favorite fighter, but I've always been a fan of his. I've always been a fan of his character, how he's carried himself, you know what I'm saying, through the sport over the years. Like, you can't do nothing but, you know, respect Adonis Stevenson and what he's done for boxing. And he's the longest, he was, up until, you know, he lost his belt, he was the longest reigning world champion, active world champion, you know, up to date. So let's just keep Adonis Stevenson's in our prayers. And, you know, we always say, you know, you don't play boxing. Like, you know, I got home in the middle of this fight, and I started my stream on this fight. You could go back and listen to the official live stream of this fight, because I started my live stream with this fight, and this fight actually has its own video. You know what I mean? And when you're watching the fights, you don't really think that stuff is gonna happen. So, you know, let me take a sip of water here. Just seeing Adonis Stevenson, you know, fighting and being completely okay 1 second to being completely not okay the next second, it's sad, you know what I'm saying, and it's heartbreaking. So I just want us all to keep Adonis Stevenson in our prayers. So you know, and the last fight was Tyson Fury and Wilder, but there was a lot of fights Saturday night. Deontay Wilder's brother fought, Marcellus Wilder, against David Demore. He won a decision. You had bantamweights, Jesse Rodriguez against Joshua Morales. Rodriguez won. He won by decision. You had super featherweight Isaac Lowe defeated Lucas Raphael. You had the middleweights, Julian J. Rock Williams defeated Francisco Castro by KO. You know, Alexander Gostic, Adonis Stevenson, Chris Arreola fought versus Lorenzo Smith. Mark Anthony Barriga versus Carlos Lincona, and it was just a whole, you know, bunch of fights that night. I wish that they would actually start to air like the smaller fights on the undercards and shit. But of course, we had the big heavyweight showdown for the WBC heavyweight title and the lineal heavyweight title against Deontay Wilder against Tyson Fury, and that fight ended in a split draw. The scorecards were 115 to 111 Wilder, 114 to 110 Fury, and 113 gave us the split draw. Deontay Wilder dropped Tyson Fury 2 times during the fight. It was a pretty good fight. The Gypsy King was boxing, moving around, showboating a little bit sometimes, but that showboating is what got his ass dropped those couple times and damn near knocked out, because that second knockout, he was knocked out for like a good 5 seconds. But it was a good fight, and it was an exciting weekend in boxing, man. I got up early as shit Saturday morning. Hardly got any sleep Friday night. Got up early as shit Saturday morning, even though I know my ass should have laid down and got a little bit more rest. But got up really excited. It's like that, you know what I mean? Boxing is really the only sport that I follow. I mean, I love football. I just don't get to, follow it as much. I stopped following basketball when Michael Jordan retired. Honestly. So boxing is really, the only sport that I really follow. So, these fights, I get really excited. So, great weekend in boxing. If you haven't, well, you can't see the videos on my page, but you can listen to the live fight broadcasts on all of these fights. We doing it like back in the day, you know what I'm saying, like when they used to listen to the radio. So you're getting the official sound of the fights on my channel. Go back and watch those videos if you haven't watched them. And if you're still with me right now, smash the like button. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe. It's Real Life Boxing. We're covering all these fights. We will be back this weekend with Lomachenko in Pedraza. And all the fights. There's a few fights this weekend, but I'll probably only do Lomachenko and Pedraza. But we'll be back covering all these fights, and I might cover Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury again, along with the epilogue, just for the fun of it. I never really covered the epilogue, but I like those shits. Them shits be hot. So and we'll be back for Manny and Broner. You know what I mean? No doubt. Packy and Broner, we will be covering the fight live, and we'll be covering all these fights. You know what I'm saying? So if you're the type of person that, you're working a lot or you're driving a lot and you can't really, watch stuff, hop on YouTube, hop on Real Life Boxing channel and throw on these videos, you know what I mean? So you could at least listen to the fights. Like, my boy hit me up right after the fight and he's like, yo, that was clutch, you know what I mean? I was at a party, a baby shower, I had to go pick up my kids, and he's driving, so he's like, he was just tuned into my feed, you know what I mean? So I was like, yo, that's what's up. And he was like, it's clutch, good look. He's like, because of you, like, I got to, like, I know what's up, you know what I mean? I know the results of the fight, pretty much, listen to the fight. So it's good shit, you know what I'm saying? If you can't watch the fight, you could at least listen to the live official broadcast. So this is this weekend in boxing, and I'm gonna leave you guys with that. I still haven't done my post-fight stuff. Actually, I did do a video on the Wilder Tyson Fury fight. It wasn't exactly a post-fight video, but you guys will see it. I'm gonna upload it, but I will be doing my post-fight video tomorrow. I usually, if you're a subscriber to my channel, I usually do my post-fights a few days after the fight, because I like to hear like what the boxing world is saying and what the fighting world is saying, you know what I mean? So I could challenge some of the things that they're saying if I feel a need to, or I can agree, you know what I mean, with some of the things that they're saying. But thank you guys for tuning in, everyone who tuned into the live stream, everyone who subscribed to the channel off of the live stream. Thank you guys. Make sure you guys smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, so that you could be notified when new content is uploaded, and so that you can know when I'm going live, because I want you guys to join these live feeds so we could get this boxing talk popping. So anyway, I want you guys to have a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed day, whatever time it is that you're listening to this. Protect yourself at all times. Keep your chin down and your hands up. This is Real Life in Boxing. Peace and one love to the whole world. Not just the boxing world, but to the whole world. Bless up. I'm out of here. Peace.